Take a deep breath. Now, imagine this. After years of marriage, the woman who once adored you, who held your hand through life's ups and downs, starts growing distant. She no longer looks at you the same way. Her laughter feels forced. Conversations become shorter. And suddenly, you realize something has changed. But why? Has love simply faded, or is there a deeper reason? Many men assume their wives just change with age, but the truth is much more complex. Love doesn't disappear overnight. It fades gradually through unnoticed moments, unmet needs, and quiet disappointments. And here's the shocking part. Most men don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. But what if you could prevent it? What if you could reignite the spark before the distance becomes permanent? Stay with me. Because in this video, we're uncovering the real reasons why women start feeling distant from their husbands as they age, and more importantly, what you can do about it. Whether you're already married, preparing for the future, or simply curious about long-term relationships, what I'm about to share may completely change how you see love, aging, and marriage forever. Common mistakes in long-term marriages. Many couples believe that love, once built, will last forever. That once you've been together for years, romance is no longer necessary. That marriage can run on autopilot. But here's the harsh truth: love needs to be nurtured, or it slowly fades. One of the biggest mistakes in long-term relationships? Taking each other for granted. Over time, daily routines take over. Work, responsibilities, family obligations. They all become the priority. The small acts of affection fade. The deep conversations become rare. And slowly, two people who once couldn't get enough of each other start feeling like distant roommates. Men often assume that once a woman commits to marriage, her love is unconditional, that she will always be there, no matter what. But the reality? Women need to feel seen, heard, and valued just as much as they did in the early days. When a husband stops showing appreciation, stops putting in effort, stops making her feel special, she doesn't just accept it. She starts quietly withdrawing. And here's the dangerous part: she may not even tell you. Instead of arguing, instead of fighting for change, many women simply stop trying. And when that happens, bringing back the love becomes much harder. But here's the good news: it's never too late to change. If you're in a long-term relationship, or hope to have one in the future, understanding this now can save you years of regret. So let's dive deeper. What are the key reasons women start feeling distant? And more importantly, what can you do to fix it? Stay with me, because what comes next might just change everything. The harsh truth. Love doesn't disappear in a single moment. It doesn't just vanish overnight. It fades, slowly, silently, through years of being overlooked. It fades when she shares her feelings, and you're too distracted to listen. It fades when she makes an effort, and you don't even notice. It fades when she longs for connection, but routine takes its place. Most marriages don't end because of one big fight. They crumble under 1,000 small moments of neglect. A wife doesn't wake up one day and decide she no longer loves her husband. But after years of feeling unseen, unheard, unappreciated, she quietly detaches. She stops arguing, not because things are okay, but because she's given up hope for change. She stops trying, not because she doesn't care, but because she's exhausted from always being the one to hold things together. And when love reaches that point, bringing it back becomes a battle. But here's what you need to know: it's not too late. If you recognize these signs, if you feel the distance growing, you have a choice. To keep letting love slip away, or to take action before it's gone for good. Because love isn't about grand gestures, it's about showing up every single day. And if you're willing to do that, you can rebuild something stronger than ever before. When she starts to feel invisible. A marriage doesn't break because of one dramatic argument. It breaks in the quiet moments, when she feels unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. It happens when conversations turn into silence. When "how was your day?" becomes just another routine question with no real meaning. When the laughter fades, and all that's left is empty space. She once felt like your partner, your equal. Now, she feels like a background character in her own life. She's always there, yet somehow, she feels completely alone. She still cooks, cleans, cares, but when was the last time you truly noticed her efforts? When was the last time you made her feel valued, not just needed? Neglect doesn't always look like mistreatment. Sometimes it looks like indifference. And for a woman, that's the loneliest feeling in the world. But here's the truth, it's not too late to change that. Because feeling invisible isn't the real problem. The real problem is when she stops caring enough to be seen. So ask yourself, before it's too late, what are you doing to make her feel cherished? The woman who loved. Until she felt alone. She once looked at him with admiration. Now, she looks past him, lost in thoughts she never speaks aloud. For 30 years, she poured her heart into this marriage. She built a home, raised a family, supported his dreams. Yet somewhere along the way, she started to feel like she no longer existed. Her husband still loves her, but does he show it? He assumes she knows. He believes their years together speak for themselves. He thinks love doesn't need to be spoken, just understood. But here's what he doesn't see. The small things that once made her feel cherished. A warm glance, a thoughtful question, a simple thank you, have slowly disappeared. And now? She wakes up beside him, yet feels miles apart. She speaks, but doesn't feel heard. She stays, but in her heart, she's already drifting away. Because love isn't just about being there. It's about making someone feel valued. And when a woman stops feeling valued, she starts to disappear. Do you still feel the same? Have you ever looked at your partner and thought, something feels different? Not because you don't love them anymore, but because the connection isn't the same. The laughter isn't as effortless. The conversations aren't as deep. The warmth doesn't feel as warm. Do you ever wonder, is it them or is it me? Has your love changed? Or have the small things that once made it special slowly faded away? Tell me, have you ever felt this shift in your relationship? Drop a comment below, because you're not alone. Reasons why women become distant. Mental load, the invisible weight she carries. What if I told you she's exhausted, but you never noticed? Women are often the silent caretakers of a marriage. They remember the birthdays. They plan the meals. They make sure the house runs smoothly. They carry a mental checklist that never ends. While their husbands go about life unaware of the weight she's holding. At first, she does it willingly. She loves her family, her home, her role. But as the years go by, something shifts. She starts to feel alone in the responsibilities. She wonders, why is everything on me? And the worst part? Her husband doesn't even see it happening. Have you ever stopped to ask? How much does she carry that you never even think about? The problem, why she feels alone in a marriage. At the beginning of a relationship, everything feels balanced. Both partners contribute, both feel connected. But over time, something changes. The invisible responsibilities start piling up. And without realizing it, the wife takes on most of the load. She is the one who plans family gatherings and celebrations, remembers doctor's appointments and school events, takes care of aging parents while still managing her own household, handles housework even when she's just as tired as her husband. And here's the harsh reality. Most men don't even notice. Not because they don't love their wives, but because they've never had to think about these things. So while he relaxes, watches TV, or enjoys retirement, she's still carrying the weight of everyone's needs. And one day, she starts to resent it. She stops feeling like a wife and starts feeling like a housekeeper. She stops feeling loved and starts feeling invisible. This is when a woman begins to emotionally withdraw from her husband. The love isn't gone, but it's fading. And if nothing changes, one day, she may stop caring altogether. Solution: how to rebuild the connection. Love is not just about grand gestures. It's about showing up every single day. If a man wants to keep his wife emotionally close, he must recognize one simple truth. Marriage is a partnership, not a one-sided responsibility. Share the load together. A strong relationship is built on mutual support. That means noticing the small tasks she handles every day, taking initiative instead of waiting for her to ask, being an equal partner, not just a bystander in the household. She shouldn't have to remind you. She shouldn't have to beg for help. She shouldn't have to feel alone in a marriage meant for two. Remember, she needs care too. Many women spend decades taking care of everyone else. But who takes care of her? A wife is not just a caregiver. She is a person with her own needs, dreams, and emotions. She deserves a partner who listens without dismissing her feelings, a husband who notices when she's overwhelmed, a relationship where she is valued, not just needed. The happiest couples don't just love each other. They take care of each other. So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly showed appreciation for everything she does? If it's been a while, now is the time to start. Meaningful conversation fades away. Once upon a time, you could talk for hours about dreams, memories, and life itself. Now, the conversations barely go beyond. What's for dinner? Did you pay the bills? Did you take out the trash? The emotional depth is gone. And when communication becomes routine, so does the relationship. A woman doesn't just want to exist in a marriage. She wants to connect. If there's no genuine conversation, she begins to feel invisible, like a roommate rather than a life partner. In the beginning, conversations were effortless. You talk for hours about dreams, ambitions, and the future. Now, silence fills the room. The only words exchanged are about chores, errands, or schedules. What's for dinner? Did you take the car for maintenance? What time is the doctor's appointment? The laughter is gone. The curiosity is gone. And worst of all, the connection is fading. A woman doesn't fall out of love overnight. She stops feeling heard. She stops feeling seen. And when that happens, she starts to withdraw. Not out of anger, but out of loneliness. The solution: reignite real conversations. A strong marriage isn't built on small talk. It's built on understanding. Try this. Ask her how she feels, not just how her day was. Be curious about her thoughts, dreams, and worries. Put down the phone. Look her in the eyes. Listen. She doesn't need fancy words or grand gestures. She just needs to know you still care. Love doesn't die in one moment, it fades in the silence. So how do you bring back the connection? Be intentional about conversations. Ask open-ended questions like, what's been on your mind lately? Show genuine interest in her thoughts, worries, and dreams. Bring back curiosity. Remember when you used to ask, what's your biggest dream? Do it again. People change over time. Get to know who she is now, not just who she was. Create no phone time. No distractions. Just you, her, and a real conversation. Surprise her with unexpected moments. A handwritten note. A simple compliment. A just because hug. Because when a woman feels heard, she feels loved. And when she feels loved, she stays. The key to keeping love alive? Never stop talking. Women evolve, but men do not. As women age, they crave new experiences. They want to explore, grow, and embrace life in a different way. But many men? They prefer to keep things the same. She wants to travel, meet new people, try new hobbies, but he just wants to stay home. She's curious about learning new things, but he sees no point in changing. Over time, their desires drift apart, creating a silent emotional gap. At first, she compromises. She stays. She waits. But one day, she realizes she's outgrowing the marriage itself. The solution: grow together, engage in new activities as a couple. Whether it's learning a new skill, picking up a hobby, or traveling, shared experiences strengthen the bond. Encourage, don't hold back. Instead of resisting change, support each other's personal growth. A thriving relationship is built on mutual encouragement, not limitation. Stay curious about each other. Keep discovering new sides of your partner, even after decades together. A marriage that continues to evolve remains fulfilling. The problem: loss of physical and emotional connection. Over time, many couples experience a slow erosion of intimacy, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday interactions. It starts with something small: fewer hugs, fewer compliments, and a growing sense of emotional distance. At first, it's easy to dismiss. After all, you've been together for years. But one day, she realizes he doesn't reach for her hand anymore. He no longer notices when she puts in extra effort to look good. The casual kisses that once felt natural now feel like a formality, or worse, they disappear completely. This isn't just about physical affection, it's about emotional connection. Women don't just crave passion, they crave being seen, valued, and desired. When that fades, they begin to emotionally withdraw, even if they still love their husband. And once that disconnection sets in, it's hard to reverse. The solution: how to rebuild intimacy. If a relationship lacks intimacy, it doesn't mean love is gone, it means effort has faded. The good news? That can change. 1. Prioritize physical touch again. A simple touch can reignite warmth: holding hands while walking, a hug before bed, or even just placing a reassuring hand on her back. These small acts send a powerful message: I still care. 2. Express appreciation in words and actions. When was the last time you genuinely complimented your spouse? Not just "you look nice," but something meaningful. "I love how kind you are. You always make our home feel warm. I'm grateful for everything you do." Women don't just want love in theory, they want to feel it in daily life. 3. Bring back the romance. Romance doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be as simple as writing a short note of appreciation and leaving it on her pillow, playing her favorite song while making breakfast together, asking, "Do you remember our first date?" and reminiscing about old memories. 4. Deep conversations matter. It's easy to let conversations revolve around chores, family, or daily stress. But deep emotional intimacy is built through real conversations: dreams, fears, desires. Ask her, what's something you've always wanted to do but never had the chance? How have you changed in the last 10 years? What can I do to make you feel more loved? The moment a woman feels seen, heard, and valued, the emotional connection reignites. And when that happens, everything else, including physical intimacy, follows naturally. Intimacy isn't something that just happens. It's built, nurtured, and maintained. The difference between a relationship that lasts and one that fades? The effort put into keeping the connection alive. If you're watching this and realizing that your marriage has lost some of its warmth, don't wait for it to fix itself. Be the one to take action. Because the smallest gestures today could make the biggest difference in the years to come. Women realize life is too short to live in disappointment. As women grow older, they start reflecting on their lives, asking themselves, am I truly living the life I want? If the answer is no, they begin to emotionally withdraw from their marriage. It's not because they no longer love their husband, but because they crave a more fulfilling and joyful life. Years of unspoken frustrations, unmet emotional needs, and feeling invisible can make a woman feel like she is merely existing rather than truly living. She sees time slipping away and realizes she doesn't want to spend her remaining years in disappointment. Many husbands assume that because their wife has stayed by their side for decades, she will always stay. But that's not the case. Emotional disconnection doesn't happen overnight, it builds up slowly over the years. The solution: a marriage should never remain stagnant, it must be continuously renewed and nurtured. Reignite the relationship, surprise her, compliment her, and make her feel valued, not just as a wife, but as an individual. Practice self-awareness, regularly ask yourself, what have I done today to make my wife feel special? Embrace shared experiences, try something new together, travel, take a class, or simply make time for meaningful conversations. If both partners choose to actively invest in their relationship, love doesn't have to fade, it can evolve into something even deeper. How to keep the spark alive in marriage? Love doesn't stay strong on its own, it needs to be nurtured. As couples age, many assume that if they've been together for decades, their relationship will naturally remain strong. But the truth is, a lasting marriage requires effort, attention, and intention. If love starts to fade, it's not because time has passed, it's because couples stop investing in each other. The secrets to a happy relationship in old age. 1. Relearn how to communicate like you did in the beginning. Remember the early days when you could talk for hours? Bring that back. Ask about each other's thoughts, dreams, and feelings, not just about the daily routine. Truly listen, not just hear, but engage in meaningful conversation. 2. Appreciate the little things. Gratitude strengthens love. Instead of focusing on what's missing, appreciate what your partner does every day. Say thank you for the small gestures, the shared memories, the unwavering support. 3. Keep the romance alive with small acts of love. Romance doesn't have to be grand, it's in the simple moments. Holding hands while walking. Leaving a thoughtful note. Making their favorite meal just because. Surprise each other. Spontaneity keeps love fresh. 4. Don't be afraid to express your emotions. Some people stop saying I love you because they think their partner already knows. But words matter. Expressing love verbally and physically keeps the emotional connection alive. A gentle touch, a compliment, a kind word, these small things make a big difference. A strong, fulfilling marriage doesn't just happen, it's built every single day through intention, appreciation, and effort. The couples who stay deeply in love are the ones who choose to love each other, even after decades together. Have you ever felt that love in marriage changes over time? If so, share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone else who needs to hear this today. Why this conversation matters. Your perspective is valuable. Real stories help others feel less alone. Marriage is a journey, not a destination. It's never too late to strengthen your relationship. Small actions can create big transformations, and that change starts with awareness. Join the community. Leave a comment. What's one thing you do to keep love alive in your marriage? Like this video if you found these insights helpful. Subscribe for more life-changing lessons on love, relationships, and aging with wisdom. A thriving marriage isn't about never facing challenges, it's about choosing each other every single day. Stay connected, stay intentional, and most importantly, choose love.